Good evening, everybody. Right, we're going to have a quiz. Can anybody tell what's wrong with their YouTube screen that they're looking at if you're a regular? And while you're answering in the chat, I will move over to a screen where I can actually read the chat. That might give you a clue.
Oh, yeah, I see it live. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Right, okay, so good evening, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. It's Thursday night. It's time to get some hobby on.
No, it's time to get salty as fuck.
No, we're not going to be well, I'm not going to be
Fucking speak for yourself,
David, Bus, underneath.
Tonight's a spicy episode.
Obviously, Dave's going to be bitching and moaning. Everybody might notice that the chat bar on the screen has a completely different formatting, and it's got like a thing at the top and a thing at the bottom and loads of other shit. I have previously, here's a peek behind the curtain, everybody. I'm using a plugin, a CSS plugin called Septopus for my OBS to change the layout of the chat. That is now broken. As of yesterday, YouTube pushed some sort of update that basically screwed it. So the only way I can display the YouTube chat window currently without going under the bonnet and fucking doing a ton of work is as you see it there. The fonts are much smaller. One of the drawbacks is it makes it a little bit harder to read. So if you're watching along later in YouTube land, I do apologise that the chat isn't as readable on screen for you, because it's something that we do like to ultimately, I say at the end of every one of our live streams, for me the stars of our show are over there in the chat, and I want that on screen for you guys to read it because they're contributors to this show as much as we are. Unfortunately, it is a little bit harder to read. I will be looking to try and get it fixed as soon as I can find a fix. I really don't want to teach myself to
I'm about to lose my shit.
So yeah, I will try and fix it when I can fix it. So technical difficulties described, accounted for, out of the way, bingo cards stamped. Right, let's get on with the rest of the show. Good. Hope everybody had a good week of gaming since we saw you last. Glad you could join us here tonight. We're going to follow our usual format. So first thing David and I will do is have a chat about what we did. What we're going to do while we're live with you tonight for a couple of hours. Then we'll chat about what we did at club. Then we'll talk about the news, and we might sort of drag that on a little bit because we've got a fair bit to cover.
You've also missed an important thing for this
the roll
week.
Call. I haven't. I'll come back to it.
No, not the roll call. It's fucking painting comp week.
Yes, we will be covering painting competition. Shit. That is a good point. David may do some juggling or entertainment. He may do a sort of like a striptease. I'll try and find some nice music for him to do that too, because I have to get pictures from my Discord to show everybody the entries from our community members.
Because you haven't done that.
Hans, did you send me a pic in the end? Do I need to look in my emails? Just comment in the chat.
Right. Anyway.
And then we'll discuss our main topic at probably a little bit after 9. We're going to talk about community service in the wargaming industry or hobby gaming industry.
No, we're not talking about community service because that's something completely fucking different to customer service. Just saying.
Oh, Freudian bastard. Oh, it's going well. It's going really well.
Right, War Cradle.
No, stop. Right. The
No,
chat.
I want to rant.
No,
Let me rant.
the chat is going frantic. I need to. God damn it! I will give a roll call. First of all, let's say hi to everybody who's joined us here tonight. Hello to Shark. Hello to Cheese Me. Hello to Tim, some dude on YouTube. Good to see you here again, mate. Hello to Darren Demon Sub. Now, before I move on, I'm gonna see if I can find if Darren's commented on what he's working on tonight.
Trevor,
No,
Upworlder,
my God.
since Breakback Expo.
Um,
That's why.
Hans Grabber, welcome. That's Paul from Pandyman. For those of you who don't know, go and check him out on pandyman.co.uk, I think it is. His fantastic games, Trench Offensive and Threat Level. Threat Level 0. David will ignore because he's here anyway. Hello to Upworlder. Hello to Rich D. Good to see you, sir. Hello to Spam and Egg. That's David's other half, for those of you who don't know. And hello to Chris. I saw your posts, mate. Congratulations on the old Facebook. I think that's it. I think that's all of you.
You would have got less for murder, just saying.
All of you shouting out. All of you shouted out. So that's that. That's the first job of the night done. Now then,
Darren has mentioned what he's working on. It's just his last comment. Just streams going back that quickly.
Oh my God,
we can't see it.
He's
back doing hobby this week. He's working on MDF terrain all week, and now he's painting some sci-fi scatter pieces that he primed last year.
Oh, excellent! Good job. Good job. Glad to see you're in on the terrain thing, matey. It is in my emails, right? Okay. I tell you what we'll do. Let's go to David's hobby desk.
Can you season me, sir? Because I'm about to go fucking postal.
You're only showing people what you're working on.
Yeah, and I'm about to go fucking postal about it.
Oh my God. Let's see. Here we go.
Fuck you, Red Oak set.
Right.
Fuck you, Tim.
Okay, right, okay.
We love you too. Right.
Emails. I'll be back in a bit. Me over in emails.
I'm just going to take you for a ride because then you can see my screen. So here we have the door for the cat house. So let's see if we can get you a bit closer.
I apologise if everything.
A9 and A12 for the frame.
Apologise if everybody's getting drop frames and shit. Every time I open a new piece of software, my computer limps along. We are.
Then we have the door, which is A10, and an A9 here for this side, right? So now I've given you a bit of background about why I'm getting salty. Let's get fucking salty and go to chat.
Can I turn the salt shaker off then?
So, I've just popped out number A9 here, yeah? Just popped out this. So this is the perfect size. Fits really nicely against the cap flap. Will work nicely. So we now go down to their other sprue. And A9 is here. Can you tell me what the problem is there? Because they're two fucking entirely different sizes.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And the door is the same height, both sides. Fuck you, War Cradle.
Look, mate, I'm sure it's a simple case. I'm sure it's a simple case that they've just merely mislabeled the sprue. So, I'm sure you'll find the correct piece somewhere. Have you got... Which one looks like the correct piece?
I have, but the point being, it's fucking annoying. I found it, but it's annoying.
Okay.
Don't bother labeling them if you're going to fuck the job up.
Ooh.
Public service shout out to them.
Right. Okay. You're working on your red oak, is it? That set. Hello? Oh my god, guys! I think my computer is fucking dying here. Why didn't I do this before the start of stream? God damn it! Oh, I think did Jerry take your
Oh, excuse me,
pictures, Paul?
saying Chris, things are thinging.
Sorry.
Excuse me. Excuse me, saying things are freezing. David has lost.
Yeah. That is. I think my computer is dying. Right.
There we go. Drop that out.
Let me
dear.
close
So,
let me close
yeah.
an infinite amount of resource hogs. Right. Okay. Let's go back to the main scene. Da-da-ding. Yes,
You've been told to stop fucking with it.
Yes, I apologise. I don't know what was. Yeah, I don't know what that looked like, but it probably looked like a total fucking car crash. Hopefully, everybody got
Yeah,
the
it did.
gist that David was just having a bitch and moan about his MDF kit. Look, mate, they are. I still say that they're good value. Those kits from War Cradle are not flawless. We went over some of the issues I had with the Dunsmouth kits. They are not flawless, but they're not that bad. I think they're good value anyway.
The value is good. They're all right quality wise. They leave a little bit to be desired.
The thing is, I mean, some of the small individual buildings are what, like 15 quid for a pre-coloured MDF kit with not an insignificant amount of detail. I think to expect Shark has the same eye goggles as me. Shark, how do you get on with them? I find as a spectacles wearer, these are not as good as my last ones. They're a little bit obtrusive, and I think I might have to use a little screwdriver to remove this nose guard bit because it is a bit of a pain in the arse. So just shout out, shout out whether you think they're worth it or not. What am I going to be doing? Let's go to that before I fucking break the computer again and try and get these pictures. Paul's pictures to share with everybody, because god damn it, I will do that here as he's taken the trouble to send them to me. Let's turn that off. Let's turn that on. I won't need a salt shaker. That will surprise nobody. Here we go. So I started this little terrain project fucking months ago.
A millennia ago.
Yeah. They're all fully assembled. We've got base texture, simple plastic card bases, 4x1. I've used a mixture of modelling matches and kebab sticks to create the cradle frame. And then we've got the Pegasus Hobbies plastic barbed wire kit that we've used to decorate the frames. I now need to basically paint them. My idea is slap some sort of brown on them with the airbrush, which is the first job tonight. Then I will go back in and paint the wire metallic, and then I might add some tufts and that to the base, but basically they're going to be, fucking done. This is going to be the quickest paint job in the world, but I think they should look quite good for that. I don't think I need to do a lot more work on that.
Fuck off, camera. You're in my way.
Not like Mr. Hardman. I'm hating this, guys. I really am, because I can't read chat, and that
you should just get better
bollocks.
Eyes. Turf, we don't talk about Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is dead to me right now.
I am going to try something here that may very well break the internet. But
Richard D, all that salt has corroded the wires. Well, you better hold on to your fucking hats, because it's gonna get worse.
Right, okay. I can now read the chat again. Hurrah! Okay, so, hello, Tuffy. Good to see you. And we got the Assassin's Creed in. Oh my god. David's been hashtagged into the grave. What hurts your fingers, Darren? Actually popping the stuff out? I'm going to get rid of this fucking mobile because it's in my grill and it's doing my head in. So
Why did I add water to that PVA? I'm a twat.
Right. What's for next?
Oh no, I've just got PVA on my jeans. Fuck.
Right, okay, guys. I think I need to. Shall we talk about Gaming Club on Monday, mate?
I mean, is there much to talk about?
Not really.
Did we have a fun evening?
There ain't a hell of a lot, is there? So we played another. It's the first Monday in the month, so it would be painting competition at our local gaming club, and we also played. It's board game night, so we played our Arkham Horror campaign. We played the next scenario in the Hemlock Vale campaign that we're running.
It's all got a bit culty.
It did go a little bit fucking wrong, frankly. We ended up basically trapped at this farmhouse in the middle of the night. And has everybody seen the movie Aliens, where all the guys are in the what's it called, Hadley's Hope Station, and then just wave after wave of aliens are just taking them out?
Yes, you can now, Chris. You just have to submit it to Paul, and then we can review it next month.
Oh, what's this paint competition?
Yeah,
we will. We will explain. We will explain. So yeah, just let me get Paul's painting competition entries here.
Try fit a lighter.
So yeah, if everybody's seen that episode of the movie Aliens, or seen that movie Aliens, that's basically what we were doing, but in Arkham. So we were trapped.
Oh, it didn't come up, Trevor. We just got our ass handed to us by fucking cursed werewolves, goats, turkeys, and horses.
Yeah, we did get absolutely fucking mauled, frankly. But you know, that's Arkham. That's the way shit goes down.
One thing I will say though is it definitely got harder because we took 4 of us, and watch this space for a topic about player count at some point soon, boys and girls.
Yeah, we would. It definitely is something that we'll revisit. Because there are some board games, cooperative board games particularly, where the board game itself is extremely.
Player count is massive.
Yeah, the difficulty is already very high, and if everybody in the group isn't bringing their top game, sometimes the whole thing can run away from you and absolutely be miserable. And that was definitely a case on Thursday. And no, no casting, no shade.
On Thursday, are you fucking time traveling now?
Sorry, on Monday. No casting, no shade on the V and Luke who were playing with us, but
they were playing competently.
Yeah, and obviously I built their deck, so part of that is on me. But because they're not experienced players of the game, whoa, God Almighty, did we get absolutely fucking mauled? There was a lot going on. Right, I think I now have everybody's entry because I've just been faffing about trying to get.
Where Shark is saying, "Where is Spam? I don't see her."
Spam was in the chat. So she
but I think Darren.
Oh, you mean on screen?
Saying because she's not here on stream.
No, well, she's obviously got better things to do.
Providing eye candy.
Where? Hang on.
All right.
Oh yes, I had it for an awful minute. Right, this is it. This is the first job. Let's get. So that's what we did. Basically, we played Arkham Horror Living Card Game. We got our fucking asses handed to us. If anybody knows the scenario, it was the longest night from the Hemlock Vale expansion.
And fuck me, was it the longest night?
Yeah,
Jesus.
it was horrific. But you know, that's how shit goes down. Now just let me select all of the painting competition entries from.
Am I doing that, darling? Because I will forget. Apparently, I need to make her a list of common colours. No, cheese me. We are not doing the Iraqi-san fucking Russian uniform because we'll summon the Ewok if we're not careful.
We want to pause that. Right. Now we need to go back to this screen. Okay, guys.
It's also where you wash your minis.
Ching. Yeah, right. Okay. Let's go to the painting competition. Ta-da! Right.
So this month's theme, boys and girls at home, was night and day. Apologies for not announcing it when I judged the last one last month and giving you a week of delay. But we had, what, 4 entrants at club?
We had, yes, 4 entries at the club, and we've had 2 entries from our fantastic community. Now, David, first of all, the scores on the doors, it was a 3-way tie for first place.
It was a 3-way tie for first place between Paul, myself, and Tom.
Okay.
V placed second,
second.
We'll come to them in a second.
Yeah, okay. So the pictures are not in order of winners, but I will explain as I go along. So for those of you who don't know, our painting competition at our club is just for shits and giggles. It's just everybody basically at the club gets to vote for an entry, painter or not, wargamer or not. You just vote for what you think looks cool. We like it this way because it means that not necessarily the best, most clinically perfectly executed paint job wins every time. If somebody has a great idea or just paint something that everybody thinks looks cool, they'll get votes, and it doesn't just tend to be the same old shit all the time. So first of all, we have V's entry. Now, because it was night and day, a lot of people did 2 entries. So there was like a night component and a day component. So this is what we've got here with V. V's got, these are a set of Cruel Boys. I really like these models. I think they're some of the best painting V's ever done. The only thing that for me, they could be a little bit cleaner, but I love the color choice, and I love the basing, which is completely over the top. So this was the night component of his paints, of his entry, and then he had the day component, which was these. Now I don't read, these are Sisters of Cain, I think, some sort of model from AOS. But I really love the coral snakes color scheme that he's done on the snake bodies. There's some really cool ideas in that. So that was the 2 components together made his night and day. So there's the unit champions. Then this was Rich's boy. What was his name? Remind me. Tom. So Rich's son Tom entered some 40k models. I think we've got these are Blood Angel, I think, models, but I don't do 40k, so I might be wrong. But these are his light entry, which are, I don't know, I think that's some sort of champion. You guys who are 40k nerds will know exactly who these guys are. Then
so no one here, Ben.
Yeah, none of our audience. Apologise for this slightly blurry picture, but we were rushing. I was rushing a bit because I knew that Arkham would be a complete pig and take ages to play. So I was trying to wrap through the photography rather too quickly. This was the dark.
Yeah, so quickly that you forgot to take a picture of mine, and I had to go back to the car and get my entry.
I'm not even going to get into that. I didn't forget to take a picture. My fucking SD card plays up, locked itself out, so then I lost the pictures. So this is the night component, so he's got like night and day there, and I think that's some sort of Death Company chaplain, and then some other Blood Angelsy guy. Rich is probably telling us who the fuck these people are in chat if you're interested. This was David's entry. Yet again, try harding to the max.
Don't you come round these parts doing try harding to the max. So here we have Skadi and Freya. Skadi is the girl on the left with the spear. She represents winter and hunting in the Norse mythology. Freya on the right represents spring and summer and harvest time. So that's the way I went with mine.
Yeah. This was my entry, and it's totally... This one, all the credit for the idea goes to David. I just simply painted Two-Face from my Gotham City Chronicles Batman game. Really pleased with the paint job. That's basically 4 hours work. You guys know me. I don't do anything on try hard. It's all quick, simple, bash it out, move on to the next project. The thing I'm most pleased with is the white. Now that is silver grey by Vallejo Model Colour. And then just an application of the Holy White Speed Paint from Army Painter. And then I went back in and touched up the edges of like the lapel and some of the raised folds with the original silver grey from Vallejo. Mixed about 50-50 with water just to make it slightly translucent. And I think some of the blends on that are not bad, considering that's basically base coat wash and a single highlight. Which just goes to show you the power of Army Painter speed paints. The biggest
I will say though, fucking genius idea, wasn't it, to do Two-Face?
Yeah, it was a very good idea, because it meant I could basically just phone in one entry, whereas everybody else had to do two, basically. The only thing that was a complete pig with this model was having to use a different washing or glazing colour on every part of the model to make sure I got the colour separation. So whereas my sort of like slap null oil all over it, sort of like methodology wouldn't work.
You can't complain when you only entered one miniature.
one 32mm miniature. Right.
Yeah.
Now we're on to the community members. This is a fantastic entry from Demon Sub. You can tell us what these are in the chat, Demon, for everybody at home. Brilliant miniatures. You have got some of the most characterful models I've ever seen, and I love the setting, I love the photography, I love the basing, mate. You're a legend. This is even more blurred than my picture. This is an entry from Hans Grabber or Paul from Pandyman. Now, Paul, this looks suspiciously like it might be modelled on you. Is this some friend of... Because that looks like your head. So is this some friend of yours doing a 3D sculpt, 3D print, sort of like homage? Because this does look very fun. I'm assuming this is you as Batman, and who? Is that the guy from Street Fighter? What's the sumo wrestler from Street Fighter?
How was the Vaseline on that lens, Han?
Yeah, is that who this is? Oh, what the hell was his name? I don't know. The guys are probably saying it in chat, and I can't view chat from here. But there we go. We've gone full circle. That is...
It's my head, and it's new anniversary miniatures.
Okay. Hondo. Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. Hondo. That's who it looked like to me anyway. Right. Let's go back. Ding!
No, god damn it.
So yeah. Thank you very much for your entries, guys. Well done to everybody. Well done, Paul, particularly. I mean, fucking miniatures of yourself. Like it. Although that backdrop was very 60s. Yeah, well done to all of us. The nicest thing about that was where we all tied for, like, basically, except for V, bless him, but 3 of us tying for first place just by the way that the votes fell. That's what I love about the painting competition at our club. It's low stress. It's just participate and enjoy it. And you see it's great to see people getting motivated to paint stuff. I love it.
Oh, yay. I've just taken the fucking broken the.
You've broken the sentence and can't finish it. Is that what you're about to say, mate?
No, I've just broken the railing off the building.
Whap, 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 whap. Nice thick
Right, anyway.
Nice thick PVA. You'll soon fix that.
No, I'm super gluing the shit out of it because it's a really twatty piece.
Okay, right.
Right, salt o'clock, news o'clock.
Oh, my God. Right, okay, yeah. Let's do the news. Oh, my God, I tell you what, I hope I can fix this fucking chat overlay because I can't see a goddamn thing. I hope you guys are having fun. Right, actually, stop. Hans has made a good point. What is next month's theme for the paint competition? David, what was it?
Let me go find the word, boys and girls. Bear with me.
V at our club is the man who comes up with the themes.
Unbreakable,
that was
incorruptible, unyielding. So you've got 3 keywords there, boys and girls, to pick from.
Yeah, unbreakable, uncorruptible, unyielding. So, again, fantastic topic. Everybody, I'm sure, can think of something to put into that.
There we go. There's my entry.
I could do one of the Batmans, couldn't I?
I'm doing Thor.
I could do Bat Cow.
I don't think I have an Odin mini. But...
You don't have an Odin mini with bloody.
No.
You must have an Odin with Ragnarok.
Oh no, Odin is in Odin's an expansion, I believe.
Oh!
Taurus, David won't be entering that building then. I've just had a fucking genius idea what I could enter. I've entered them before in a painting competition, but I should enter my halflings that got broken, shouldn't I?
No, it's unbreakable, mate.
Yeah, but they are unbreakable because I glued them back together.
No, they're not unbreakable. They got very broken, but you fixed them. You got to save them for eminently repairable. Oh dear.
Right.
Darren has just the mini. I bet he does as well. I bet he does.
Is it news o'clock, sir?
Yeah, it is. Right, let's go over to Here is the news. We need one of them sort of like BBC style tickers.
Hang on. Before you do the news,
yeah.
Do you want me to do my news that requires my mini camera?
You can do, mate. Yeah. Do you want to do that? Hang on, let's do this.
Yeah, go on then. Put my
turn
mini
that fucker off. Turn this fucker on. But do you want to do this at the... Hang on a minute. Let me counterpoint. This sort of feeds into the main topic. So do you want to do it at the end?
Yeah, okay, then I'll put it down.
Does that... Because do you see my point? You see where I'm going with that?
No, I don't, but carry on, sir.
Right, okay. So we didn't cover this last week.
Cheese me. If any of you are musically competent, we may take submissions for a soundtrack for a entry thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, if any of you are amateur recording artists and like playing around with home music and stuff like that, and want to just send us jingles and shit, send them. Get in touch. I'm definitely up for that. Right, okay. So, Bolt Action 3rd edition. We didn't cover this last week, so this is last week's article. Basically, they covered changes to Bolt Action, including the use of the keyword system, which is going to get a lot more expansive. I'll be honest.
I'm not overly happy about this. Because again, right? They took stuff out. They took the mechanics out and said, "Oh, it's plus 1 for this, -1 for that, etc." Yeah.
Yeah, they sort of simplified and streamlined the.
And then now they're turning around and going, but if you're an anti-tank gun, you get an additional +1, but only when you shoot at an armored target.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
For fuck's sake. Jesus. So they've taken the rules out, but they've slowed the game down.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think there's an element of I understand why they're drip feeding this information, because it generates hype and it generates community interest, and you do it a bit at a time, and you can talk about it every week. But yeah, there is an element of, oh, you release this article, you've streamlined shooting and taken out all these modifiers, and it's like, well, sort of, except we haven't, because all we've done is buried the fucking things now in keywords. So like, even different models have different shooting rules. The other thing that I have with this is, generally in games, I am a fan of universal special rules. One thing I despise about Games Workshop's current iteration of their games, although they are rolling things back with 10th edition in 40k, I don't know about AOS because I've not played it for years. They had like basically a rule that did a very similar thing, and it was called 40 different things on 40 different models, which was just retarded. If a model has a rule that re-rolls ones to hit, call it fucking accurate or sharpshooter or something, but call it the same fucking thing on every model. That I get it.
Yeah,
I get why you would do that.
Slightly different, flavorful skin for every single faction.
One of the problems I have with bolt action is, if I forget anything in bolt action, one of the things I will always forget is all of the unique special rules that are attached to certain types of units. So like, for example, Ricky, who I play bolt action with against the club, he runs an SAS list, and the SAS models, pretty much every unit has a special unit, a rule rather. So there might be dike demolitions where they can place booby traps, or they can infiltrate, or they can make the other opponent's fucking reinforcement rolls harder. We always forget those things. Doesn't matter. Those are the things. If you're going to forget anything in the game, you'll forget that. And now with 3rd edition, I'm a little bit wary of the fact that there's now 500 more of these fucking things. So it's like, oh yeah, no, the Japanese Nemo, the engineer unit, they've got the engineer special rule, so blah, fucking blah. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to forget.
I think it may be slightly better, because at least if your opponent's taking an engineer and you're taking an engineer, they're the same key rule.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah. But again, I get the feeling that there's going to be more of this shit. I remember the first time I played against Ricky's SAS, it's like, Christ almighty, you got a lot of special rules here. Like, by contrast, my Japanese, it's like, well, we get our army rule, and that's pretty much... Well, that's
Banzai.
it. Yeah, we get Banzai, and that's pretty much it. There is nothing else. Like, it doesn't... None of the units have crazy, wacky rules and shit like that. But the vibe I'm getting is that the SAS are not going to be outliers anymore. I get the feeling there's going to be a lot of these fucking keyword soup buried in armies of all flavors and colors.
I mean, again, Sharks just said here, like, anti-tank weaponry was different to anti-tank artillery for the majority of nations. They could reflect that.
Yeah, true.
They could with this principle, but we will remain to see.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Shark, that's always that's always a tricky one. In wargaming, you are always
running out the hole, you twat.
You're always running against that simulation versus game. You know,
simulation versus realism.
Yeah, if you want to simulate things to a ridiculous degree, you can do. But the more and more and more and more of that you add, you create what it is. You create a simulation and not a game. A game, there's this sort of concept of cognitive burden within games and playing games.
Well, again, Darren's hit the nail on the head here that the latest GW books have all the legalese in them.
Yeah, I mean,
the fact that they're more dense than a fucking physics textbook that you had at GCSE.
Yeah, and to put it in game design jargon, the issue with the Games Workshop games is this concept of cognitive load. So they give you so many things to remember and process simultaneously or retain a connection to, that actually just remembering all that stuff becomes the primary task that you're performing. So you become disengaged from the game, you become removed from the moment, you become, just dragged into a mire of detail. And
keyword soup is another sort of way of phrasing it, isn't it?
yeah, and this is my fear with this sort of thing, is that you're going to be constantly
soup situation.
Yeah, I think I mean, don't get me wrong, Bolt Action's got a long way to go till it's 40k and completely fucking unplayable. But again, I'm just asking myself, because you see, well, do you know, one of the things I've always said, again, maybe I am an idiot, but one of the things that's always made me recommend Bolt Action as a game system to other war gamers is, particularly if they're disillusioned or annoyed with the 40k cognitive burden bollocks, is that in Bolt Action,
it's easier.
In Bolt Action, a Japanese infantryman is like a German infantryman, is like a British infantryman. A lot of it is cookie cutter, but then again, in the real world, you take a reasonably well-trained infantryman with a typical rifle or sidearm. They're pretty much very similar. Do you know what I mean? There isn't, it doesn't, and to be fair, you don't need to bury the game there. If you make all of chess is the one that it's a bit of a meme on the show. For those of you who've watched us regularly, we always get onto chess as a war game, and everybody's, it's not a fucking war game. Chess is a good example, right? Both players have completely symmetrical armies. All the pieces are identical. They behave in an identical way, but there's still a game there. You don't have to have black pieces move quicker or jump further, or you don't need it to put a game in there. Yeah.
I just realised something. I'm not going to open that can of worms right now on stream. Never mind.
Right. And then let's talk about this week's. So this week we had more about vehicles. Again, I'm not. I'm not a fan. All the same thing has occurred to me each of these articles they've released, pretty much, which is that's fine. Bolt Action didn't need this. I don't know what you guys think.
It is annoying me because the more and more I'm seeing of it, they've taken a massive step away from what they had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've taken such a off-piece turn here that I'm sat here going, I might stick with second,
Yeah, Darren makes a very good point about the cognitive burden, cognitive load thing, which is that when you do, although a lot of people didn't like it in fantasy and 40k, when you had the separate phase for just psychic and all your psychic and magic, do it here. You can focus on it and then forget about it.
Again, 40k Tau player, psychic phase. What's that?
That's the issue. That obviously, if again Necrons, it's like psychic phase. Well, you go because I've got fuck all to do. Do you know what I mean? It's like that can be an issue with that. But again, you're entering into anyway. Yeah, and to be honest with you, Shark, that's one of the things I do like. I know what you said earlier about they're a bit underpowered and they're very much they could do with being buffed. I mean, one of the issues you say they could do with being buffed, the lesson I would say to learn from the Japanese in Bolt Action is we're all getting a little bit fucking obsessed with how effective the gear was and how effective the tanks were and how effective the new weapon systems were, because the Japanese army went into the late 1930s and the turn of the 30s 40s with a very veteran, reasonably well equipped army. Because of the way the war played out, they very quickly lost all of their equipment, couldn't replace or repair any of it. They didn't have the technological
Made
advancements.
some massive oversights and technical
Yeah.
blunders, particularly with their island hopping campaign.
Yeah, and because they got themselves mired in shit, they then didn't develop and grow their technology the way that... I mean, you look at the way that the military technology of the US and the Germans transformed during the course of the war. They both
Well, again,
were on massive...
Germans made the world's first assault do
you know what I mean? The technological advancements they were making were not mirrored by the Japanese forces. But again, and do you know what I mean? The Banzai rule and the way that the Japanese play does very much make... If you can pull off assaults, you will win most of the time against most armies, even veteran armies, because the Banzai army... For everybody that doesn't know, Timmy, some dude on YouTube is German, so that... Tim, it's all your bloody fault.
Rifle, but it is your fault that a load of American school children are dying. Just saying.
No, don't, because he'll then say, yeah, but I want to take credit for Trump as well. So we're not even going to go there, all right? that conversation is not going to happen.
Japanese should have bought next. They would have won handless to have Gundams.
Yeah, that Godzilla. Oh. That's why I wanted Bolt Action 3. I want to be able to play Godzilla. Anyway, let's go back to the... So, the meat and potatoes of this article is essentially we now have 2 damage tables for armoured vehicles.
For fuck's sake!
Why? We have what used to happen in Bolt Action... Don't mention C4! What used to happen in Bolt Action 2nd Edition was when you shot at an armoured vehicle, you rolled on the damage table, and then you got various pluses and minuses on the roll, depending on various factors. So whether it was a rear shot, side shot, top armour, blah fucking blah. Whoops, I've knocked my thing off. So... Obviously, if you only got a glancing blow, it was less likely to disable the vehicle and would just do something minor, like give it an extra pin marker or whatever. Now what they've done is they've completely separated it so that you work out whether you've got a glancing or penetrating hit. So did you just equal the armour or did you beat the armour? If you got a glancing hit, you roll on the glancing hit table. And if you got a penetrating hit, you roll on the penetrating hit table, which is basically the same as the old one, I think, without any changes. So, again, instead of...
Choose Me is telling you wrong. It's one for soft skins and one for armoured vehicles.
Well, I've got superficial damage results on armoured vehicles written at the top of there. Cheese me. I think... Because soft-skinned vehicles are... I mean, to be fair, soft-skinned vehicles are really easy. Basically, when you roll into wound, if you get a single 6, they're gone. So, soft-skinned vehicles... Again, immediately when I saw these rules changes, I thought, fucking hell, they better make SAS Jeeps cheap, because they're going to drop like flies. Because obviously the SAS lists use basically really... They use Jeeps covered with a preposterous amount of Vickers and medium machine guns and drive them around spraying bullets like, you know, confetti.
I don't think it's a preposterous amount of guns. I think a gun for every occupant is perfectly reasonable in a war situation.
You think a heavy to medium machine gun for every person in the Jeep?
Yes!
That's not excessive. Okay, fine.
You only need one to drive a car. The other one you can just fucking machine gun out the window. It's fine.
So again, meh, fine. But I just I'm
not liking the changes.
No, I don't see why this was needed. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not. The other thing is, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago,
they weren't land-used hands. They were Jeeps because the Americans did it first, and then we built British versions.
As we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the I'm not convinced about fucking armor in bolt action anyway. I think it would work better as a fucking infantry focused game, and if we left all these tanks at home.
Well, again, radical idea. You got fucking flames to play your armor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the last piece of the article is they are dramatically changing, by the looks of it, points costs on vehicles, which I get. I mean, whether this is going to affect balance or not, I don't know, because they're changing so much stuff. Whether it's like 20% cheaper to bring a fucking Tiger 2, or and I'm sure some vehicles will get more expensive, like the is it the Sherman with about 500 machine guns that
well, the Americans are wrong on that front, Hans, because they weren't there in World War One. But yeah, the Landies were built after the war from memory, because we went, hold my beer, we can make something better than that.
Yeah, Damon says 48 was the first Land Rovers.
So yeah.
Next
news article, because it's 10-2, sir. We've spent a good 20 minutes on bolt action.
Yeah, so there's our thoughts, guys. You have at it in the comments below. I'm
not excited for the new edition.
I don't understand why all the revolution in it. Maybe I don't play enough bolt action, and for you guys who play a game a week and have done since first edition, can tell us in the chat why we're in the comments below why we're wrong, and why all of these changes are so needed. But I don't get it. I did watch a video by a guy that I thought was a really good idea. He said one thing he wants to see in the keyword soup is the assault tag for vehicles, so that you have benefits for rolling up with some of these thin skin transport vehicles and then charging out of them. Because
have a quick disembarkation rule if you're an assault
vehicle. Because I think the Germans use their half-track fleets for a very similar thing for rapid assaults, and they also did tank-borne assaults, didn't they? Where they used to have guys riding on things like Stugs and stuff, and then assaulting off them. But I thought that was quite a good idea from somebody who played more bolt action than me. So make sure everybody goes and fills in the Great Wargaming survey. 11th edition, I think it is. It's currently live. I've already done mine.
I better go do mine after. Oh, are you going to link it in show notes at the end?
I will link it in the show notes when the stream is finished. I'll update the description box and put it in there. Go and give these guys as much data as possible. It's not a horrible questionnaire thing. It literally took me 2 to 3 minutes. It's about 25 questions, I think. So go and give it some time. It's great for them to gather. They go to a lot of work to gather data on the wargaming hobby, and we guys should help them out, I think. Now then, we've got another big thing to talk about. I know we're going to eat into the topic time, but that's fine because topic's a bit waffly tonight anyway. And anyway, I've got to curb David's salt levels. So
no. Stop trying to fucking dilute and fucking what's it called?
Look, I'm thinking of your blood pressure, mate. You need to cut back on the salt.
No, I am a fucking mine over here.
A salt mine. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, Shark. I think if you were to take away... I totally get that. Shark saying that if you want it to be an infantry-focused game, you need to change things like machine guns, bazookas, mortars, flamethrowers, and satchel charges. Because obviously, if you're taking away armoured targets, those things then have to work more effectively for infantry. I'll be honest. I think they should just focus on the pin system. The pin system, to me, is what lies at the core of the game experience in bolt action.
For Infinity.
And if you want to create, if you want to be a more infantry-focused game, but want to give those sort of weapons more role to play, modify the way they interact with the pin mechanic. That would just be my off the top of my head fucking
curveball answer.
answer.
Oh shit! I just broke a fucking.
Mate, if they're too simple that gluing them together is too easy that you've got to break them apart into smaller pieces, that's a good sign, surely. Yes,
No.
so Infinity is having a new edition. Now then, David, shall we be salty about this?
No. We've got N5. We don't know anything else. Done. News sorted.
Don't be like that. I tell you what we do know.
Oh yeah, there's a fucking very beautiful JSA tag
No,
that
more
I saw the other
important
Friday
than that,
night and sent to you,
David,
and you were like, "Oh my god, that is beautiful."
David doesn't know, obviously. The most important thing for Infinity N5 edition is that the JSA are getting upgraded to a full army. So they are no longer one of the non-aligned factions. The Japanese secessionists are going to be there, a full faction in Infinity. So, woo! We're going to get...
Excuse me, why do I feel like you're quoting fucking Trump there?
It's going to be super fantastic, great. Oh, and BritCon is this weekend. Oh, thank you, Hans. We'll have to report that as well. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this. I've said it before on the stream. Infinity is, in my tiny, tiny, insignificant opinion, the best miniatures war game that there is. I'm liking everything I'm heard. There's one of the things I've got to share with everybody is, oh no, I haven't. I didn't put it up here. There's I've looked at a couple of videos because I think Corvus Belly did a seminar at Gen Con, and they teased a lot of what's changing, and the sort of like the big takeaway is not a hell of a lot is changing. Everything, they're basically just steady as she goes. The meta's really good. The competitive environment's great. People are loving the game the way it is. We're not fucking revolutionary, changing anything.
One must question then, right?
Yeah.
If that's their argument, why the fuck are they updating their edition?
Well, there are some changes. They are changing some things, but there's no, from what I can see, there's no real revolution. As I say, I meant to put the video in the bloody show notes. A guy did a really good summary video of the changes for N5. I might have a look for it later when we're on the main topic. But I'm really excited because JSA are getting a full edition. The other thing that absolutely needs saying, right, is we had a show about editions not long ago. Do games need new editions? And although David's point may be right, why do you actually do you need a new edition? Are you just fishing for sales? When N5,
because the other thing is that's so out of character for Corvus Belly here.
Yeah.
The other two editions have been like 6 years at a time.
Yeah.
This one's only been 4. There's
True.
been no expansion books released like other settings either. So, excuse me, stop taking the GW approach.
Yeah.
We don't need a new edition every 5 minutes.
But when they do update it, the rulebook N5 rulebook will still be free as a PDF.
Yes, I know. I know. I'm being salty for the sake of being salty. But
the Infinity
my
Army
has validity.
The Infinity Army app, which you use for building your army lists, will be updated free and for free automatically forever and a day. All of your models, all of your models will always be proxyable or usable in some way. Infinity models have always been designed. Again, Infinity models have always been designed with a view that they are representative enough of what they're supposed to be that you can tell what they're supposed to be.
Right.
But they're not prescriptively specifically that. And it's meant that even as profiles, because in Infinity they call it unit profiles, as unit profiles have come and gone and dropped out and been created, people have always been able to say, oh, well, I can take that miniature and that's that profile. It's a lightly armored infantry with a machine gun and a mine layer skill. Just like it. And do you know what? I think it's going to be absolute. It's just great. I love Infinity getting some attention.
Fuck's sake.
Now then, mate. The other thing, should we have you seen the Infinity Paradise Lost yet?
I've seen the trailer for it.
You have, right.
I'm a bit excited for it.
So, for everybody who hasn't, Infinity is getting its own animated, I believe this is a TV series.
Yes,
Don't know.
it is,
Do you know what platform it's coming to? Is it a Netflix, Amazon, or is it?
Do I fuck?
Right. Okay. I don't know either. But I'm really excited for this.
It does look very beautiful. It looks so pretty, and I like to consume my lore.
Yeah.
I don't like to read my lore. So this looks perfect for me.
I think one of the things that excites me most about this is I love Infinity as a game. I do not really have a strong grasp on the lore. I know roughly what the factions are, and I know they've got their sort of backgrounds.
Yeah.
But
outside of that, you've not got any overt details.
Yeah, and I tell you what else as well. I personally find it very difficult to engage with science fiction settings unless I have a shit ton of lore explaining to me how that setting works and how it feels to live there. I think most generic pseudo medieval historical settings, like if you've seen a film about ancient Rome, you can sort of imagine what it would be like to live in some sort of ancient civilization.
Roman,
Do you know what I mean? There are connections that are easier to make with those sort of things. With a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah, because Infinity's so futuristic.
Well, I mean, it's only 200 years in the future, but the changes are massive.
Yes, but the changes are massive, like multi-spectrum visors that can see through everything, the cloaking technology, all of that is... Toros thought it was Star Wars.
Yeah, but I was looking to say, he says to Tim, ask Tim, he says to Tim, where is he? Are you, I can't remember what he says. Are you, what did you ask him? And he says, no, but I love money.
Anyway, boys and girls,
I can't see
just
it.
a second while Paul's doing that. We have a choice of lady.
Oh, are you an economist? He says.
Man. Which one am I going for? Lady or man?
Oh, is this for your building?
Yes.
Do you want to show them off again on big camera so people can see?
Yeah, hang on. I will show them off just before I do the thing that leads into stream. My update, my news.
Hang on, John, Flatline City. Do you want to tell everybody about Flatline City?
Yes, this is what I was about to say. Links to Infinity. Flatline City from Saucermen Studios, my favourite Australian 3D printing guys.
Australia, we love you.
We're getting a third set of Flatline City. Not that I printed any of the first two, but we'll gloss over. Oh no, tell a lie. I printed some scatter. That's it. We'll gloss over the rest. But we're getting a third wave. We're getting some more funky buildings. We're getting some docks. We're getting some half-height risers. They look fucking gorgeous. We're getting city street perimeters. Fucking so excited for this.
You really do need to print some of this shit, mate.
I know I do.
Just print it. Get on with it.
Well, I would if Creality would send me a ribbon cable, but if I get a chance at the end of the stream, I will bitch about that.
Oh my god, David's going to get salty. Da, da, da. Fucking hell. So yeah, so this is more of your money gone, is it, mate? Yep. What's the pledge level here? $80, is it? Australian?
80 Australian, I think.
For about a gazillion, 100 plus fucking models.
Which is the low cost of 41 of my Great British pounds.
And I'm assuming all of these building sections being multi-component, they're all compatible with the previous ones?
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So infinite replayability, infinite rebuildability.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right.
Yes.
Boys and girls, have I got a treat for you now?
A treat, he says. Well, as he's about to fucking go off half-cocked, I will get my airbrush ready.
So, I arrived home on Wednesday to a little leaflet through the door from Royal Mail. And the leaflet said, your parcel's by your back door because you weren't in. And I'm like, I didn't fucking order anything. But okay. Went to my back door, unlocked my back door. Was
Stay away from that back door.
So, as some of you may notice, there is giant Zartu tape on this box. So this box came from Zartu in Norwich. Zartu are a company we love. Paul, please go down to my desk camera. Because I was like, I've definitely not ordered anything from Zartu. What the fuck is going on here? And then I look closer at the box. Can people make that out?
A little bit closer,
This
maybe.
box is from Modifius Entertainment in Norwich. So Modifius are now using Zartu for their customer service. Happy days. Means we might actually get some customer service because the fuckers didn't tell me they were sending these. Gets better. Zartu packaged this box, right?
He's off, so guys. He's off.
We're going to move you a minute, right? You're thinking, Zartu, you cheeky fuckers, what's in there? Raiders, boys and girls, all that box for this. We're good, though.
I think they were trolling you, mate.
Finally, have Modifius sent me what I ordered over 3 months ago. And I have checked them, and there are all of the pieces in the bags that I can see from First Reckoning.
Oh, good. So that means you won't.
I'm a happy David.
So that means we won't have to hear this.
What I'm not happy about is the fact that it took them 3 months and they bullshitted and everything else regarding orders, delays, sheer lack of communication, which they fucking carried on with by dispatching that without warning me. So yeah, Zartu, really good packaging, really good customer service. Let's hope that they can improve Modifius, because someone fucking needs to.
Oh dear. So that brings us nicely into tonight's main topic, doesn't it, mate?
Yes, it does. Finally, after 3 months of waiting.
Oh dear. I mean, you guys, we'll probably just dredge them up. We'll pull the bodies out of the cadavers out of the caskets tonight, and kick them around the room a bit. But we've already talked on our streams before about.
Hang on, boys and girls, because go back to my camera because I forgot to do it because I was getting too salty about Zartu and Modifius.
Oh yeah, go on then. Show us. Yeah, okay. So
go on.
You're there.
Outside of the cat house requires a signage. On this signage, do I go for the female in the petticoat with her hooker skirt, or do I go for a bare-chested bloke? I think I'm leaning that one.
I'd go for the female one. The man one looks a bit weird. I don't quite know why you'd have that on the back of a cat house. Seems a bit weird.
Did you bother to put my... Oh, yes, you did. I've got real delays tonight. David, when will those new minis be painted? Some point between now and Christmas, hopefully. Maybe.
Oh, you guys are so fucking brutal. They're not even pulling the punches now. That's fucking crazy.
Taurus, so you got your stuff and it's all there. What's the problem? Refer to my previous streams,
Taurus, stop.
where I tore them a new one over their emails repeatedly.
They didn't tell him. They got to. They needed to tell him. Right, actually, let me. I have a question for everybody at home. Let me do my desk cam.
You do your question,
and then we'll go to the main topic o'clock.
Cheese Me has a point here. You assume a cat house is female only.
No, to be fair, it had occurred to me that the bloke looks like somebody out of the bloody YMCA or whatever they are. You know, with his bare chest, and I thought, yeah, but the sort of like 1880 wasn't the 21st century. Even if I'm sure there were very much gay people in the world in 1880, as there have been gay people in the world always. Whether they would have advertised a cat house, not quite sure that they might have done. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's Brokeback Expo. It's Brokeback Expo.
Actually, that is why you should do it as the guy for Brokeback Expo. Oh my god, yes, that's genius. Right. My question for everybody at home is, I'm basically just going to spray these things a brown. I was going to use the leather brown primer from Army Painter till it ran out. As you can see, it's spattered on it. What I want to know is, what shade am I going for? Am I going for a really dark chocolatey brown? Am I going
all the shades of grey?
It's not going grey. Am I going to go for like a mid flat earthy sort of beigey brown? What brown do we think?
Flat Earth?
I like flat earth. I do use flat earth a lot for a basing colour, and essentially as these are like Iraqi sand. Do you know what? If I was doing them for Western Desert, maybe, but they're not. I want them to be a bit more universal than that. Cheese me. Russian uniform definitely won't work. I don't know if you can deploy razor wire in swamps, but I'm not sure it's very effective.
The Earth isn't flat.
What? Sorry, what troops? You mean what, these pieces of barbed wire, mate? Is that what you're asking, Shark? These are literally just homemade, mate. Homemade 4x1 plastic card, sand and PVA glue for the texture.
Go for a mid. It's easier to darken a light colour than struggle to get a dark base lighter.
Okay, so like go with the flat earth stuff, Damon. That's a very good point, mate. Yeah. So if I slapped a wash on it, yeah, okay. Saddle brown's a good shout. Ooh, that is a good shout, Taurus. So that's a slightly reddish colour.
Of course, that's gone slightly on the piss, hasn't it?
Oh
well.
So what are we thinking? Flat Earth or saddle brown, everybody?
The Earth's not flat. Flat Earth. Flat Earth. Problem solved. Done. Completed it, mate.
No, I'm not doing them snow themed. They wouldn't look good on my Frostgrave board. I think I'm going to go with the saddle brown and give it a try. You know, I like that. I like that shout.
You're mad.
So that's me done. That's my advice done. Let's go back to the main view.
Right,
this is so annoying having to have this chat overlay. It's covering up half the goddamn screen just so I can read it. So yeah, customer service then. Bit of a mixed bag, yeah.
Yeah, we've had some shit in the past 18 months, 2 years since we started this.
Yeah, I mean,
we've had some good, but
I think let's discuss what we can do. Here's my take on what we should do. Let's just discuss the top down. Thanks very much, Shark. Do you know, if you want to see more details, I talked about them at length on a stream a few months ago. Probably must be nearly 2 months now. Because this is the Pegasus Hobbies barbed wire set, which looks okay, but it was a wank to work with. If you're doing anything like this yourself for a simple hobby project, and it really is fucking simple, I would not recommend the barbed wire I used. There are better things on the market, wrapped wire alternatives that are easier to work
Now
with and
who's
more
being
robust.
salty?
No, I am just giving some what I consider good advice and product feedback. The Pegasus Hobbies barbed wire kit is dog shit. Because 99% of it, in fact, I'm going to go back to my hobby desk to prove my point. The problem with the kit is to actually get these regular coils takes a fuck ton of work and a hairdryer and heating the plastic up to the point where it's soft enough and then cooling it rapidly so that it forms its own memory coil. And mostly you get bullshit like this where it won't form a proper coil and you're just getting long ropes of almost straight plastic, and then it'll just randomly snap where you've been trying to wrap it. It's not strong or robust enough for the job. Brilliant idea, absolutely terrible product. Don't use it. Yeah.
And executed. There we
Yeah.
go. I can English.
Yeah, just don't use it. Use a wire alternative. There's 10,000 of them on the fucking hobby market. They're way better to work with.
Or make your own with some wire and spiky fingers.
Okay. While we're talking, if you guys, Taros has said Pendragon have the best customer service from personal experience. This applies to you later. Anybody watching later on YouTube, this is the stream. In the comments below, all of your good
name, shame, and praise.
Yeah, good and bad customer service experiences, particularly if they're unique or prove a particular point. So let's talk about why we decided to do this topic, and then we can just prattle on about examples till the clock runs down. The reason that I think that it's interesting to talk about this is twofold. Number one, David sort of like discussed it about a few minutes ago, but in quite a salty, sort of half jokey way. But actually, if you're having issues with your customer interface and your distribution or whatever, and you are a games designer stroke manufacturer, why don't you put that role out to somebody who is already fucking good at it, such as a mass market retailer like Zatu? You know, although David was sort of like ripping the piss, actually, for Modifius,
it's probably the best thing that they could have done.
Do you know what? I think Modifius definitely need a round of applause for doing a big boy thing, for saying, do you know what? Why don't we just
we can't do this. Let's
outsource. We either need to fucking restructure our whole customer service team, get a manager, get loads of new customer service people in, or like David says, hang on a minute, why don't we just outsource the distribution and customer interface to somebody who does that every fucking day, and it's the main thing that they do, and then we can just do design, manufacture, scheduling. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Why don't reinvent the wheel, just fucking outsource.
Outsource that wheel.
Rich, don't bother, mate. I've got plenty of barbed wire right now. I don't need any more. Maybe when I build myself
what I'm hearing is you need some more barbed wire. Christmas present sorted.
Hang on a minute. Let's all just fucking admire the cynicism of cheese me there.
You can't blame ignorance when they fuck it up. Fair. Good shout. Cheese
me. That is so
go for the jugular.
Cynical, mate. Oh my god. Do you know what? I have to echo that. I mean, I've recently had an interaction with again, you can go back and watch our previous episodes. I had an issue with War Cradle, which are
Where's your
part of
receipt? Where's your receipt?
which were
Fucking receipt!
I bought it from your fucking stall at UKGE, you
Where's
dick.
your receipt? Fucking twats.
So I had it was resolved satisfactorily. I did eventually get what I thought was good service and good intervention from somebody in their customer service department at War Cradle. I got my issues with my expensive fucking MDF kit resolved. I got to vent a little about the fact that the kit was flawed and that it needed fixing, and they weren't patronising or rude in the end. But it was a bit of a slog. It wasn't exactly frictionless.
It was a bit of a mission.
And I've found, although I won't fault Wayland for being fucking cheap, as soon as I discovered Goblin and Zartu, who are equally as cheap, and in fact Element Games as well, who I've dealt with and have found better, I have found Wayland's to be shit in terms of A, communication, and B, stocking or obtaining anything. By a different token. And again, do you know what? This is an important point to make about customer service, right, and customer experience. If you're watching this and you work in the industry, you do not need to have all of your products in stock all of the time. You're going to have problems, stock outages, issues with quality, whatever,
delays.
Runs on things, delays. If you tell people in an honest and truthful manner what the fuck is going on, that's all people want. You know, when I've been in touch with Zartu and they've said, yeah, that Fantasy Flight stuff you want for Arkham Horror, fuck knows, that could be 6 months before that gets reprinted because we're hearing nothing from them. Do you know what? They're honest. They didn't flannel me, didn't say, oh, try next week. Oh, try next week. Oh, try next week. Fucking wasting my time. They just said, look, mate, we're going to tell you straight, it could be fucking months.
Warlord is another good shout,
it's
Darren,
like,
because Paul's had very good experiences with Warlord, particularly UK Games Expo.
Yeah.
Paul wanted to buy some shit that wasn't at the show. They bought it in the next day. Sarissa is another good example of that.
Yeah, they did exactly the same thing. Well. Yeah. So
Battle Systems, I'd say, on the fence a little bit, Darren. Mainly because of Expo for me this year, that they didn't bring what I wanted.
Fuck off.
And...
Hang on a minute. No, don't move on.
No. Let me finish. Let me finish.
They fucking they've got 80 products in the range. They fill a 40-foot trailer. They oh, hang on, no, we didn't bring the one thing that David didn't wanted to buy. It's like.
But the point being here, yes, I could have bought it online.
Yeah.
From them with the show discount, but I was having to pay P&P. That's what pissed me off.
Oh dear, I think you're easily upset, mate.
No, I think the word is triggered like a hand grenade.
Oh dear, right. I apologise if this makes noise.
Mantic. Here's another good shout out company here. Mantic Games. I had a Kickstarter, League of Infamy turn up, and unfortunately the Chinese sweatshop that it's assembled in forgot to glue an arm onto a miniature. So I contacted them about it. And they said, yeah, no, that's fine. We'll get it out to you. The same weekend, my 5 or 6 year old at the time was playing with one of the miniatures that I had painted, put it down on the sofa, and I completely broke its arms off. So I emailed them and said, look, guys, I know this is out of a bulk set for, what's it called? Dungeon Saga?
Yeah, Dungeon Saga.
The resin Eye of the Abyss set. Have you got one to one side? I will buy the replacement. And they said, yeah, no, leave it with us. We'll have a look. About 3 days later, a little envelope turned up. In that envelope was the broken miniature that I'd broken completely in two, and the replacement one for the Chinese sweatshop. They did that without me even paying a penny.
Yep. Oh my God. Toros says Pendragon cast him a miniature that they hadn't had it in production for 10 years. So they dragged out the mold and span him one up. That's pretty fucking good, mate. That is a good shout out. You want to put that in the comments of the video as well.
So it's here and pinned forevermore.
And if Pendragon can have a channel, do an @ tag on it so that they can see that. In fact, that's a good tip for you, any of you guys who are planning to put anything in the comments. If you can,
Crispin.
If any of the guys that you're praising or even criticizing, frankly, just at them in the tag so that they will get a notification that they've had comment about it. Night, cheese me. Hello, Crispin. Good to see you, sir. The other reason that I thought we should talk about this, as well as obviously David's recent experience with the revelation that Zatu are going to be stepping up to do some customer service support for Modiphius, is the fact that wargaming or hobby gaming in general, I suppose war gaming specifically, because board gaming's been crowded for a while, but it's getting more and more as a crowded marketplace, and people have got infinite choice almost. And in this sort of world,
again,
customer service matters a lot more, doesn't it, mate?
I'll tell you the other thing that sort of popped up a lot lately that I've seen. The likes of Modiphius. Fucking hell, my throat. It's dry as fuck. Modiphius. Loads of the 3D printing guys, etc., have Discord channels. And you can jump in a Discord channel. Obviously, there's admins and stuff there that are like the paid staff. But there's also customers, right?
Yeah.
I jump into the Modiphius one and said, like, basically, what the fuck is going on? Because nobody's answering my emails for over a week. And I had a couple of guys in the own Modiphius fucking Discord go, yeah, they're like that. They'll get round to you eventually. If that's from the people that are in your fucking server that you have authority over, saying that,
yeah, you've got a problem. You have got a problem.
Problems.
Yeah, you've got an issue there. It's not rocket science to realise that that's not going to go well, or get you the best reputation, is it?
No.
But yeah, I mean, I consider I've been quite fortunate. I haven't had too many I would call negative customer service experience. To be honest with you,
you've not flexed your legs with TT.
No,
because you had a real shit set of miniatures from TT.
Yeah, no, I had my airborne vampire, airborne carnivores or whatever the fuck they're called. The sort of the vampire set with all the flyers. There's some of the casting on them was fucking disgusting. But again, I've been modelling and hobbying for 30 odd years. I was able to fix and repair even the lamppost, the big feature piece, which had got a massive mould slip in it. I was able to get that up to a standard where I was happy with it. So I suppose it's partly I've been lucky, but partly also I'm not a complainer by nature. I sort of let companies get away with blue murder, which may not be a good thing. But I tell you, hang on a minute, let me just say one thing. I'll tell you what, though, I am absolutely fucking ruthless in terms of if I feel like somebody is mocking, taking the piss, or just literally not trying, I will be the first person to say, I am boycotting your company. I will never buy a fucking brass pin off you ever again. I am absolutely unforgiving. If you fuck me about, I won't ever, ever give you my money again.
Right.
Because I don't have to. I have choices and options.
I would like to sort of open this up, and I know it's a bit weird where I'm about to go with this.
Your throat is dry
But
because of all the salt.
yeah, I know. Fuck it. It's about to get a whole lot worse, boys and girls. It's about to get a whole lot worse. So, some of you may or may not know, I'm a design engineer by trade. I sit at a desk all day in CAD land designing products for people. That is my job. As part of that job, there is a certain amount of planned obsolescence, so to call, of designing stuff to wear to get spare part sales. Totally fine, totally understandable. Also, as part of that job is dealing with customers, dealing with warranty procedures, and the fact that you have a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year warranty, etc. So, I've got a bit of background in bits and pieces like that. What grates my fucking gears, right? We're about
Is
to go
everything,
to
mate. We know that.
no reality. So last year, it's just here at the edge of camera. I purchased an upgrade for my 3D printer. I use this printer roughly once a week. So I've used it 52 odd times. That's it. The cable is so thin how they've designed it that it's tore through 4 of the ribbon wires on this proprietary connector so that I would have to go and buy a new replacement at $20 US. Literally a year after I fucking bought this. 2 weeks after the warranty ended. I lost my shit at reality and said, no, this product is clearly not up to fucking par if I've used it 52 times in a year and it's broken. I want a replacement. They said, yeah, no, that's fine. We'll send you one out because it costs them literally 4 or 5 quid to make this, if that. 10 days later, bearing in mind they told me it would be here in 7 to 10 working days. 10 days later, I've sent them an email going, got any dispatch information for it? Because you told me that you'd email me when you dispatched it. Oh, no, sorry, we haven't dispatched it yet. So don't fucking lie to me and say it's going to be 10 to 12 working days.
You don't have a lot of luck, mate. Everyone seems to tell you, to spin you a lie.
Pissed off is the word here.
Oh dear.
No, the oil pan was entirely my fault.
Oh, that
smacked
is a low
ratchet
blow,
strap
Tim. That is a
at,
low
like,
blow.
60. That's on me.
Oh dear.
That's on me.
Hey, you don't think your Assassin's Creed minis are going to break when you try and use them, do you? If they've got built-in obsolescence.
Don't worry, because I know where I can get some.
Oh dear. Darren's really just trolling me now. Fucking, he had a backpack once where the zipper rubbed through the fabric and eventually made a hole.
But this is the other thing that pisses me off.
Another thing that pisses him off.
No, right. I've produced owner's manuals, operators manuals, parts books for companies I've worked for. It's part of my job. it's part of my requirement. Why the fuck has War Cradle got steps entirely missing in today's day and age, and why the fuck are they not doing a trial before putting those instructions on the website?
What you mean about their kits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The other thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, but things like MDF kits are designed from a CAD file. It's like,
yes,
the instructions
again, this is my
almost
point
write
entirely.
the instructions almost write themselves, because when you explode your CAD file to lay it out, you just can't. You know, you can see where I'm going with this.
Yeah, this is why
like,
it's a reserved place in my heart for people that don't do fucking instructions properly.
Yeah.
Particularly in today's day and age when it's all CAD driven, it's like, no, the fuck are you playing at?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, Jesus Christ, you can even be more understanding about a rulebook being badly written, because at least there's an element of, you've got to codify what you're doing in language. And if you've been part of the design process since day one, there's all those intuitive things that you've got to codify and make not intuitive but actually explicit.
And write down so that people can understand them.
But obviously, when you explode a CAD diagram, all you've got to do is stick some fucking labels on it. It's
so
that's
Chris,
all you got to do.
I've used SolidWorks, I've used Autodesk Inventor, and I've used Autodesk Fusion 360. Take your fucking pick. I'm fluent in all three. That's what I've used.
I think something else that needs saying, I can't think of any other customer service stories off the top of my head. But do you know, one thing that occurred to me is, like, the thing that's always worth bearing in mind as well is, customer service doesn't require that it isn't linked to or explicitly a part of manufacture and getting your products right.
Again, I was gonna go on to that in a second. Like, it's a quality control point of view.
That's what I was trying to think of.
With TT.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody really ever sits there bitching and moaning about GW other than the pricing and the rules being shit. The miniatures, because they're injection molded plastics, are very good.
Yeah.
The criticism is in how they are split up and sculpted together. That's an issue.
Yeah. The kit might be badly designed, but that doesn't, that.
But you actually have a good miniature with no inclusions or anything in it because of the manufacturing process. Take a step down from that, looking at Corvus Belly and Warlord and other manufacturers that use white metals. There's occasionally the odd issue, bit of short shotting or bits and pieces like that, but it's usually very good.
Yeah.
Let's take a step further down to resin and poured resin from the likes of TT Combat and everything else. That is really hit and miss.
Yeah,
you can have resin that's absolutely full of bubbles. You can have huge mold slips that, again, in white metal, yes, you might have a mold slip in white metal, but that model never makes it to the consumer because it gets thrown back in the pot and melted down.
Well, to be fair though,
because
because again, what we're talking about is the concept that you can cut the corner on your customer service by having such high manufacturing standards. Problems never get to the customer. There's a whole step in the way there, isn't there?
Yeah. And again, the likes of Corvus, the likes of Warlord have little taggies in the box, so you know exactly which prick to blame.
Yeah, that's more for picking and packing errors, isn't it? I think. But I guess it might apply to manufacturing. Again, I don't know.
But again, even if you're picking up 5 different white metal sprues, if you pick up 2 of the same and not the 5 that you should have picked up,
I'll be honest,
it's still a quality issue.
And to be fair, one of the reasons I imagine Corvus Belli do that is because when you see, for those of you who are not familiar with white metal and tend to work in plastic more, if you take white metal models in anonymous plastic baggies, they look very, very similar. Spotting the fucking difference can be a hell of a job, because reflective unprimed white metal is virtually impossible to read with the naked eye. So I bet they get all sorts of packing and picking errors, which is probably why they ID the packers, so that they're all over it. But actually, do you know what? We were saying we were giving GW a shout out for their quality, but I tell you one thing that is a bit of a sin in customer service, and that is making the same fucking mistake over and over again. And when we were talking about tonight's stream, we came round to talking about Games Workshop and this business about printing rule books or fucking codexes, and then even before the bloody book is released onto the market and you've paid your 35 quid for it, or maybe even if you've pre-ordered it, before you even got it into your sweaty hands, they've like had to go, oh yeah, there's this problem with the book, and
we've had to errata
this is wrong, page 47 should read like this. It's like, yeah, okay, shit happens once, twice,
maybe
3 times. What the fuck, GW? You know,
have they actually released a book in the past 12 months that they've not errated?
Oh, I don't know, mate, because I don't even follow their stuff anymore because it pisses me off so much. But I mean, I remember last time we looked at Old World. I looked at I was asked by somebody if I wanted to try Old World, and yes, I did legitimately want to give Old World a try because I've played Fantasy in back all the way up from 3rd edition, so I thought, why not try the new one? And then I looked at the FAQ. Well, I looked at my friend's rulebook that he lent me so that I could gen up. And then I looked at the FAQ, and then I looked at the errata for the new Dwarf Army book that hasn't even been released yet. And I thought, are you fucking kidding me? They're still doing this stupid stuff.
Well, again, Shark, on that poor editing management, we come to fucking GW's fucking genius god-level play here for the new 8th edition, not 8th edition, Old World. We're going to put size fucking focal text on a brown parchment textured background so it's completely illegible to anyone.
I won't get into that because we might even have an entire fucking live stream on that topic coming to a salt mine near you sometime soon. But yeah, as I say, if you're going to get things wrong in customer service, and do you know what? Everybody's going to make mistakes. You're going to get shit wrong. But do you know what? Don't make the same fucking mistake 3 times. The first time, it's just one of them things.
If you make a mistake, or you're making a mistake repeatedly, address the root cause that caused the issue.
Yeah. Yeah. And because like you say, I mean, again, it's a bit like my exchanges initially with War Cradle.
Where's your receipt? Where's your receipt? Where's your receipt?
I did comment in the email exchange that I felt like I was being dealt with like by a bot because they weren't actually responding to what I would said, and they were literally just giving me, felt like scripted remarks and scripted instructions on what I needed to do. And then a guy reached out and got in contact with me, literally phoned my mobile, you know, and I spoke to a human being. They got the message straight away, which is like, yeah, that's fine. I don't want to be fucking parroted at. I actually want to be interacted with and talked to like a proper person. So, you know, that's fine. It all worked out well. But and do you know what? The thing is, that's the...
I tell you something else that fucking links to this stream.
Yeah.
And we have covered it before, and we have mentioned it before. If you're a sales representative doing a demo game, let it fucking sing. Do a decent job of it. Don't fuck it up like Exploit Zero did. Go watch the stream from over 12 months ago on that motherfucker. Because
yeah,
it's just, you want to make your product sing, you want to drive sales. Don't put people off at the door.
I tell you, so here's another thing as well. It's like War Cradle didn't give me anything other than what they had to give me for
Didn't
for
sweeten
me.
the deal.
No, they didn't start throwing freebies at me, and they didn't give me this, that, and extra, and whatever. And do you know what? Ultimately, I'm fine with that. I would rather that my interaction with them cost them money in terms of having a human being to. They had to pay somebody to deal with my problem and put it right. And
Yeah.
I think, here's a word of warning to us complainers and customers, right? Before you start grumbling because, oh, well, you could have given me something extra, or I want this for free, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you've already cost them money by complaining.
Exactly. Instead of that, what we want is a culture where the company just spends the money on the customer interaction. Because I tell you what, if we force them, if we expect freebies all the time, some shit goes wrong and they have to pour money into that, the worst thing they'll do is have less customer service operatives, skimp on the training, put in automated fucking chatbots on websites to filter out 90% of the complainers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and again,
I would rather.
Just on the flip side of that, you don't want to drive. Some of these companies that have the best customer service are the little mum and pop stores where there's 4 or 5 people, because they give a fuck. It's their livelihood.
Yeah.
The other end of the spectrum, you have corporate, where it's faceless cogs in a wheel and you don't even know which customer service representative you're talking to because they don't bother to use an email signature.
Yeah.
Don't be corporate. At least put a name to the face and have a decent interaction. Yeah. We're all human.
Yeah.
We can sing praises, and I know this stream has turned into a bit of a salty bitch and moan fest, particularly from myself.
Nobody noticed, mate. I think you got away with it.
Oh, fuck. I've just put my foot in it. Bollocks.
Darren says
I'm just going to do the Homer Simpson meme on my T-shirt and phase into a hedge right now.
Amen, Tim. Amen.
It's the thing is, we're all human. It's nice to be able to sing the praises of companies like Mantic, Pendraken, Zartu, Goblin, all the ones that we've mentioned here, both in the live chat and possibly in the comments afterwards. Those are the guys that deserve credit, because when shit goes south, the few times it does go south, they pick up the baton and get on with it and do stuff properly.
Yeah. And do you know what? I was just thinking as you were talking there, when you were listing like all the success stories, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think every single positive customer service experience that I've had has resolved or revolved around just communication. Just the way I was talked to, the way I was dealt with. It really is that fucking simple. It is absolutely that fucking simple.
Yeah, again, it's a case of not lying, not being deceitful, as we touched on earlier. Don't tell us to try again next week, because the answer's still going to be the fucking same. Just say, I don't know.
And the other thing is, like, the other example of that is, like, when we were talking about, we were kicking the shit out of Modiphius, we actually interacted with a guy on the stand at Modiphius on a UK Games Expo. And he as much as told us, oh, it'll be waiting on the mat when you get home. Like, the problem is solved. It's as good as solved, mate. Job's done.
They were manufacturing them as we left for the show.
Yeah, you know, he was being all sorts of hyperbolic, right? Now, that guy may have believed what he was saying, but he was fucking sadly ill-informed. And do you know what? If you're in that situation, don't be tempted to do that. Don't be tempted to wing it or fucking just speak off the cuff. Because I tell you what, somebody will go away with a memory of that interaction and it will piss them off for months. Okay?
Again,
and they will tell their friends about it. And
again, we weren't being confrontational on the stand. We weren't jumping up and down. We were just talking to him nice and casually and said, like, look, this is getting a little bit ridiculous now. It's been 2 months.
You know, if that bloke had have said, if that bloke had have said to you, honestly, mate, I don't know anything about it. Here's an email address. Can you just put all of the details into an email and send it to this email address? Something personal, something non-corporate, not a fucking common mailbox for the dogs. That's all he had to do. He didn't need to say anything. He didn't need to explain anything. All he had to do was show that he fucking gave a shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or again, said, like, look, I'm on the stand, but send me an email and I'll deal with it after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shark hitting the nail on the head here. It isn't what you say, but it's how you say it.
Yeah, that is very true, mate. Yeah, it's, again, you know, I'd rather hear bad news and it be right. Do you know what I mean? It's like I said to when I was interacting with War Cradle and they'd got this kit, and I said, look, I'm not being funny, but if all of your kits are cut the same, you're not going to be able to replace this component for quite some time because you've got to relay this out and redo.
You got to renest it.
You know, and redo the files and shit. You know, this isn't just something you can just run one off. It's not a missing component. The fucking whole sheet's miscut. And I said, if that's the case, I don't mind. If you're going to say to me, oh shit, that'll be a month before we can. Yeah, you know, I said if it's going to be a month, just tell me it'll be a month. I don't care. But don't tell me it's going to be 3 days and then it is a month. You know.
It's the tune that makes the music. Is basically the same as what Tim was told when he was younger.
Yeah, that's a very nice little pithy phrase, Tim. Right, I mean, I think
it's very German. Yeah. It's very German and to the point.
No, if it was German, you'd be slapping your thighs.
What, in some lederhosen?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's not a rocket science topic this week, guys. As I say, the TLDR.
And again, 9 times out of 10, you're not. Bavaria is in Germany, is it not, Tim?
Oh no! Oh no! Has my racial stereotyping come afoul of a real German? No! No!
But anyway, 9 times out of 10 in this industry, you don't need it. And the problem is, it's those interactions, whether good or bad, that will stick with you. Because again, I have no feelings, for example, on Warlord, because all of the shit I've had from Warlord has been exceptional.
Yeah.
I've not had to rely on their customer service.
No. Which, and in a way, that's not fair. That's not fair from our point of view as consumers. But David makes a very good point there. The problem is when everything does go fine all the time, you sort of take it for granted, and actually, you know, there's actually something to that. That, you know, when you never have to make a complaint or interact with a company beyond just ordering your shit, which turns up when you wanted it to, and it's right. It's like, you know, that you don't sleep on that, because that's a good achievement, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, and again, that's the reason I'm just sort of bringing it up as a tight little bow. to tie this entire thing together.
Yeah.
Because again, the likes of Everdell, Fantasy Flight, I had to have no customer service interactions with. And the games are good, and the rule books are well laid out. And do you know what I mean? It
They don't give
together
you.
In
They don't give
the
you
fact
much
that
to
I've got
complain
no
about.
jip with them.
Yeah.
Modifius, on the other hand, as I've said before on stream, I'm never going to buy directly from Modifius again. I will be buying from Zatu, but it looks like even if I buy from Zatu, it's coming from them anyway.
I wonder if they watched the stream and somebody said, "Well, we may as well just." That it looks like that bloke's only going to buy from them, so we may as well give him all the stock. Could be. That could be what happened. You never know. So yeah. Be interested to get your guys' take. As I said earlier in the show, this is the stream to put things in the comments. Give us your positive, your negative customer interactions, your customer service experiences with these companies. And that can be any level. It can be a store, GW store level. It could be mail order. It could be head office related.
And I would like to issue a public apology to all customer service staff that ever have to cross a fucking path with me, because I am quite often on the warpath.
Yeah. We call him hard mode for a reason. Think of it as your hard mode. He is your hard mode customer. Here he is.
I am a baptism by fire.
Yeah. Dear. 5 minutes to go. Now then, I am just. I think I might actually get. Do you know what? This is going to be a first. I think I am actually going to get the hobby project I said I would get done. Actually done on stream.
Are you feeling okay? Because I've got my cat house is all built.
Oh yeah, but you often finish what you're doing. You're way more organised than me.
Like that, sir?
Eh?
Did you just come for me?
No, I just fucking.
No, not like that. I've just fucking realised that can now get clipped like fuck. Oh, what have I done?
You'd have to go back to the red period of GW. What's the red period?
Is that when they used to do D&D shit?
Maybe. What do you mean by the red period, Darren? I'm not familiar with that terminology. Is it something that refers to like the early days, the 80s? Ow! I definitely don't need to sharpen an airbrush needle. That's definitely sharp enough. Fuck.
Is it just drawn blood?
Jesus, yeah. That's fucking hell. Okay. Well, we're 80 to 90% there.
Any suggestions for barbed wire fortifications and awesome buildings? If you can find some stuff that's pre-painted, Shark, even better. Is it Empires at War, Paul?
For what? The pre-painted...
The pre-painted stuff that you got for my flames. But they also do it in 28mm.
I mean, I don't know. What are you doing 28mm for bolt action? I'm assuming, Shark.
I would assume so with the Stalingrad board, but
yeah, Empires at War are fine. I think you're US based, so I'm not quite sure. Your market is going to be slightly different to us over in Europe, I would imagine. The Empires at War stuff is fine. Again,
it's serviceable.
It is. It's a lot of it's basically pre-colored. The designs are simplistic But they are very good value for money. And if you're needing a lot of terrain, which you might be doing if you're doing like an inner city Stalingrad thing, they might be the way to go.
One drawback though, they do not have the best customer service.
Okay, there you go. So
we forgot to mention them. Miscuts on sprue, and didn't you say the Peterborough Wargaming crew that bought a load?
Yeah,
basically had a load of stuff that they had to throw in the bin.
Yeah, they literally had to modify some of the kits because they're so badly cut and they're so badly designed. Because again, you'll be looking for bombed out and ruined World War II stuff. I would have thought. I tell you what, if you search for oh, fucking hell.
Hey, at least I'm honest, Shark. At least I'm telling you what to fucking expect before you buy, Bernie. Particularly with you being across the pond, mate.
I don't know if Shark. I don't know if you're familiar with a YouTube content creator called Geek Gaming Scenics. Geek Gaming Scenics did a series of bolt action boards for a charity here in the UK, and they were like urban bombed out. One of the series of 4x4 boards was an urban bombed out one with a road layout and bombed out buildings and stuff. There's some fantastic hobby tips on there, and he will also talk about the range of building he used. I don't really have a World War II Europe collection of my own. I mean, the ones that I was always wanted to get was the foreground buildings, but sadly they're now defunct. They're not particularly easy to get on the secondary market, but if you can get them, the foreground bombed out World War II stuff is great.
Would Sarissa have anything for him?
Sarissa might have a World War II range. Again, Stalingrad is quite a specific look.
Yeah, I know it is, but I'm just thinking out loud a minute.
I'm trying to think. The guys here that are on tabletop fans like me. Jerry recently has been. Did somebody? Am I right in thinking one of the on tabletop crew did a Stalingrad table or a bolt action game or something, either on their YouTube channel or in the project system? Am I imagining that?
Empires at War, Shark, not Empires in Flames.
Yeah, Empires at War. Is that's because that's the stuff they do 15 and 28, mate.
Yeah.
Again, it's all got a bit of a Central Europe, Normandy, Holland feel to it. But
they have got some Stalingrad stuff though.
Do they? I tell you, I'm trying to remember what's the name of the company with the stuff that folds out? It's like collapsible. It folds in on itself. He does some fantastic World War II stuff. Also, our Blacksite Studios. Do Blacksite do terrain? They're US, aren't they?
Oh, that's a shout because they are US. They might have some.
Yeah, check Blacksite Studios, mate. I don't know if they've got. I think they've got like a Necromunda range. They've got some sci-fi bits. I'm not sure if they do have World War II, but they're worth a check. Yeah, Night Darren.
Was a community thing from Tim. What Tim's saying for the Beast of War stuff.
So that it was a terrain layout and that, wasn't it, Tim? It was a community thing. So I don't know, Shark. I don't know if you're a member of the On Tabletop community, mate. If you aren't, go over and check out the On Tabletop website. And the backstages, as we used to be called, the Otters, as we now call ourselves. I think you can view the community projects. You might even be able to search for Stalingrad as a keyword. But if you look in there, there'll be loads of people, I imagine, doing terrain and stuff exactly will look like you're looking for. They the on tabletop community thing is basically the gold mine.
There'll be summer in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. But just creating a bombed out urban. I'll be honest, dense tables, full stop, are exciting. One of the nice things I like about Infinity is how dense the table gets. And it almost gets to the point where it's actually hard to play, but dense tables are so immersive. Yeah, on tabletop, OTT, ON tabletop.
There you go. Tim's got you there
There
in
you
the
go.
chat. Search for Stalingrad Bolt Action Mega Battle by Intelligent
Intelligent
Mr.
Mr.
Toad.
Toad. Thank you, Tim. What a legend. Right, it's 5 past. We've overrun. Sorry about the chat. If you're watching later on YouTube, I will try and get it back to the way it was before with the enlarged fonts and the improved readability and the less clutter. As soon as I can get that plugin working again in OBS, I will be back on it.
Sorry
Thank
for
you
the
very much
salty
for
as fuck episode.
yeah, thank you very much for everybody who was in the chat tonight. Fucking legends, as usual. These people are more than half of what makes the show the show. If you can find time to do only a single thing tonight, please click the like button. If you can do any of the other shit that's listed below it, then that's fucking amazing as well. Sharing, subscribing, commenting. Commenting is important on this one. Customer service, good examples, bad examples. Don't forget, tag the channels, tag the companies. If they have a YouTube present, at them in your comment. Let's be, let's be fair, but let's point out where things didn't go quite as they should.
I tell you what, we also didn't say before you get into truly rounding up. The next painting competition will be judged on Thursday, the 5th of September. That's Thursday, the 5th of September.
Yes.
And it was incorruptible, unyielding, and unbreakable.
And if you want to send in or submit an entry for the painting competition, you can, if you're a member of the On Tabletop community, you can send me a direct message on the On Tabletop Discord server. And if that's my way of plugging On Tabletop community, you should join because it's £40 a year and it's fucking amazing. It's great value. If you don't have that, if you look in the video description, there will be an email address. You can send pictures to that email address. And as long as they reach us before we discuss the competition on the show, you will be given full credit for your work. And I can't wait to see what you guys send in. The more I think about it, I've got another. I could either do one of the big fucking primal guys from Pantheon. What do they call Titans? Because or I could do
you could do Atlas.
Yeah, I could do something like Atlas. That might be because to do another Batman miniature might be a bit mega cheese. Might be better to just do Atlas. Yeah, I like the idea of that. Right. With that said, I think we're going to call it a night. See you later,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
See you
See you next week.